TV motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and dudes for my people. On God. Nia, thank you for feathering me. And today I'm gonna be talking about what is reincarnation, a mechanism, cycle, and process of birth, life, death, and rebirth, or the way I like to call it. So look at it the same way how you look at the seasonal transitions and stuff like that. So spring, summer, fall, and winter and stuff like that. So it's a mechanism, it's a transition and stuff like that. And the way how you see that happening when it comes to the climate, the weather, the atmosphere, and stuff like that. When it comes to the heavens, the celestial bodies and stuff like that, with the sun and the moon pockets and the moon phases and you know what I'm saying? The sun rising and the sun setting and stuff like that. Even day, even night. You know what I'm saying? Daytime, nighttime, and stuff like that. Masculine, feminine. Whole different video. But like, just in general, right? You start to understand the whole process behind the mechanism and the process behind reincarnation and stuff like that. And I'm gonna just break it down in the most simplified way of how you can understand it and stuff like that. So the same way how y'all look at birth, you can look at that as like carnation, and then you can look at life like an incarnation, and then you can look at death as the reincarnation, death and the rebirth process and stuff like that. So just in general, based upon the birth, life, death, or the carnation, incarnation, and reincarnation and stuff like that, right? Your lightest shape and form, your lightest body is the incarnation. So it's in something. So you incarnated in something based upon what you created and observed, and birth based upon the space that you in. And then it becomes a mentality or a mind or some type of metaphysical matter, mind physics, mind flexibility, and all that type shit, right? And then it becomes the second body, the flesh, and the flesh is eventually going to end up dying out and stuff like that. So from it being a body, or it being in an organ, or it being in the physical realm, it being in the flesh, is going to end up dying out, and it's going to be experienced into a certain point to where it's going to end up getting old, and you have to revitalize and replenish that energy to when you actually physically die, so you can retain that essence based upon the spirit, aka the space that you're in, or what you created for yourself, based upon you being having a free will or a free spirit, just in general, of what you try to create for yourself or cultivate for yourself based upon the space that you was in. And then your space is your spirit, and then your individual space is your soul, just in general. So based upon what resonate inside your space, and you can dictate what is inside and outside your space. Anything outside your space will be like the overall space. So the overall spirituality of it. And that's something that's beyond just you. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same way how I have my own mind, and I see beyond me, other people got minds. Some people got human minds. Some people got frog minds. Some people got Dory fish minds. Some people, you know what I'm saying? Some people got alligator minds and stuff like that. Some people got bear minds and stuff like that. And then I have a human mind, a humanistic mind. And then humans are just, you know what I'm saying, evolved versions of what mammals are, but based upon our comprehension and our awareness and our intelligence and stuff like that. And we was able to make it, you know what I'm saying? Like we kept on going through that process of expanding, contraction, and going through different bodies and different experiences and things of that nature, right? And different things that we observed, we was able to make shape and form to where we at now when it comes to humanity and stuff like that. And then the minute people start hearing humanity, or where's the humanity, I know people gonna start talking about, oh, where's the kindness, where's the compassion and stuff like that. When really you have to turn that compassion into compactness or co-passion. You know what I'm saying? So you have to coexist with your passions. And just in general, when it comes to kindness, you have to learn how to be one of a kind, because it's not just about being love and light and stuff like that, and Jesus Christ and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? And what they be trying to use, you know what I'm saying, utilizing religion or Christianity and all that type shit. That's a different video in itself, right? I'm not trying to say that's bad, but I'm saying y'all can get lost into the light based upon y'all being lost into the love in the light and Jesus Christ, aka some Jesuit playing that role of what it means to be your, you know what I'm saying, being like a redeemer, being actually being a walking star, walking representation, and you making your own imagination of your own world so you could be like Jesus, or be the walking star just in general. That's why the sun always be behind him and stuff like that. And then he admitted something because it's in darkness, and it's trying to find that little spark. It's trying to find that passion. It's trying to find that motivation. It's trying to find itself through all the reps of negativity, all the reps of the darkness and stuff like that. And then it's emitting its own sun, its own light. And then people can revolve around it in its world and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit go deep. That's a whole different video. Whole different video. You know what I'm saying? They be describing that shit through a lot of like mysticism and like symbolism and Gnosticism and esoteric isms. You know what I'm saying? A lot of isms. You know what I'm saying? A lot of isms. A lot of doctrines that motherfuckers can get indoctrinated in. But I be understanding it from like a broad point of view, and I be trying to make that shit simple for y'all and stuff like that. But all in all, we can get into it when it comes to reincarnation, just in general. So, reincarnation. Now, you got reincarnation. Now, is like revitalizing or repurposing or rebirth or reappearance or you know what I'm saying? Like revival, revitalizing. So it got that word. So from it being it's like you doing something again, and then you're reincarnated. So you're in. So you're in doing something. You know what I'm saying? You're in something. So you're not out of it. It's not like the masculine energy or like the positive energy and stuff like that. That's a different video. But like you're not out of something. You're in a bag. You're in a pocket. You're in a container. So like I was saying earlier, your light body is your mind, and then your physical body and your second body is the flesh and stuff like that, right? So you're revitalizing, you're repurposing, you're redoing something in a container. So you're in the flesh right now. So based upon what you're, you know what I'm saying, what your spirit is doing, just in general, your spirit being your soul, and your spirit don't like being in one shape and form, but it likes to observe these things, these different shapes and forms, right? And it likes to fulfill itself because it's really no thing, it's no shape and form when it comes to the spirit, but it likes to fulfill itself just in general from it being a spirit, and your spirit is based upon your space, aka your essence. So it's like an esoteric scent in the atmosphere and stuff like that, based upon you creating your own world, your own atmosphere, and your own awareness and comprehension, and based upon the experiences that you done gained through different reincarnations and different bodies and stuff like that. What did you gain based upon the knowledge or wisdom when it comes to your soul? Like what resonates with your soul? And now I can make that super simple. All right, you can have $1 million. You could die right now. You can't take none of that $1 million with you. You know what I'm saying? The minute you gone from the flesh and stuff like that, all the physical material things that you attach to, all that shit don't matter. That's why when it comes to grief and then when it comes to people dying and stuff like that, a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that type of energy because, like, for one, they probably don't believe in spirituality, they don't believe in the spirit, and they have a more agnostic, atheistic type of mind state and stuff like that, or a nihilistic, pessimistic, Rick and Morty type of mind state when it comes to that. So they have a hard time dealing with that grief, especially if it was sudden death. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like car crash, or people feeling, oh, it was premature, oh, this person got shot, wrong place, wrong time, all type of shit. Just in general, right? So based off of this, from people having a hard time dealing with death, but I feel like y'all be looking at death weird, just in general, right? The whole thing in itself is just a process. The same way how something getting birthed into existence, that's a process. That's a form of death. If I wanted to make that like mad simple so y'all can understand it, I want y'all to look at it more like that. So that's why when it comes to some religious or spiritual practices and stuff like that, in certain cultures and stuff like that, they'll say it in a way of, oh, they done passed on. And I'm pretty sure that's like some shit in the Caribbean and stuff like that. When someone like pass on, or like Egyptian or some shit like that, like when someone pass on, it's kind of like they'll get in that day with like people say, like, you know what I'm saying, to get out all the sadness, all the grief, all the and then the next day be like a celebration, and then they'll celebrate what they did in their life. You know what I'm saying? They'll talk about the good things they did. They'll celebrate all the things they had success in when it comes to their outcomes, when it comes to their abundance, when it comes to their growth as a person, their characteristics, like what did people love and admire them for, like what was they the walking example of, and things of that nature. So based upon those different transitions, right, and they put it in a higher frequency, just look at a higher frequency, look at that as, oh, as frequently as you're able to do something, right? From them putting in a higher frequency or a higher vibration, a higher emotion and stuff like that, right? Y'all can look at that as like a positive emotion or an optimistic emotion and stuff like that, instead of it being depressing or pressured or descending. It's ascending. So he's that being that was initially in the flesh becoming a deity and then becoming an entity and stuff like that. Look at that as them becoming an essence or something in existence of what they once was, based upon what they did on earth or in the flesh and stuff like that, right? From that transition of them being able to pass on, of that birth, life, death, and stuff like that, right? They was able to pass on in a lighter shape and form instead of being heavy in general. So just in general, right? They're not here in the flesh no more, but the essence of who they was still lives on based upon their family, based upon the people that had like a strong impression of them and stuff like that, right? So from them making it easier for them to transition to pass on in the lighter stages instead of making it heavy. When you make it heavy, that's like you being super depressed about it. That's like you trying to call its spirit back and make it relive the things when it comes to the human experience or things on earth and stuff like that, right? When you do it like that type of energy and stuff like that, it's like you make them like ghosts and stuff like that. It make them feel guilt, or it makes them feel regression and stuff like that. It makes them feel like they can't progress into moving on into the next body or the next lifetime and stuff like that when it comes to their spirit, because you're weighing their spirit down. You get what I'm saying? It's like emotional baggage. It's like you're weighing it down by trying to negate it, by making it negative, by throwing like shade, by throwing a lot of negative emotion around it and stuff like that, by like having a lot of dark energy around it, because you're making it harder for them to be light so they could ascend essentially. I'm just using different synonyms so it can make sense for y'all just in general overall. So like I was saying before, is just redoing something, and then it's in something. So in and is in something. It's in a container, and it's not out of something. It's in a container. It's in something, and then the car. So you are driving the car. Now, what does car need? It needs gas, right? So how much was you highly spirited? How much was you gassed up? How much was you geeked up? How much spark did you have? How much you know what I'm saying? How much fuel did you have to go the distance to actually put in the work and put in the energy to make it so you can even come back again in the first place and stuff like that. So you had to live your life in a way to where it had to have a lot of essence behind it, and it needed to have a lot of substance behind it. You know what I'm saying? It had to have a lot of lively energy behind it. It had to have a lot of sentient energy behind it. The same way how I'm sentient right now, how a lot of different humans are sentient right now. So it's based upon the character. It's based upon like the temperament and stuff like that. So a high temperament will be like someone who's really intense. They super passionate. They super heated in a negative sense. If I wanted to use that in like a negative sense, oh, a person who's like really heated, oh, they mad, oh, they angry and stuff like that. But that's still a high temperament because it's hot, it's spicy, it's fiery, it's passionate and stuff like that. And then someone who's in low temperament, oh, it's like a motherfucker who's like super stoic and stuff like that. Like they lack emotion, they lack lively energy and stuff like that, right? They lack reaction, they lack action, just in general. So they're more cold and they more low. You know what I'm saying? They come off more depressed. They come off more descendant. It don't sound like they trying to ascend. It don't sound like they get excited about nothing. It don't sound like they get enthused by shit. Just in general. They're reacting and responding of the space of, you know what I'm saying? They're like reacting. It's like a motherfucker you meet who's just living life, but it's like they ain't really taking control of their life, but they doing the obligations that they need to do because it's realistic. You know what I'm saying? It's realistic to do this. It's realistic to get this job. It's realistic to get this degree and stuff like that. Oh, it's realistic for me to do this because of my obligations and responsibilities, because of my parents and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to say there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like a motherfucker who thinks too realistic. Like you're too much in the flesh. You're too much in this society. You too much in the government type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you too much in the material world to the point to where your whole realm of reality that you in, you only see it in the flesh. You only see it in the physical. You don't think of anything beyond just what you're seeing in the naked eye and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you lack spirit. You know what I'm saying? You lack passion. You lack spark. You lack liveliness. You lack having experience beyond your wildest dreams or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go beyond your horizons and stuff like that. You basically kind of making yourself stuck in general. You're trying to freeze a pocket. You're trying to freeze a pocket in time. You trying to stay what you're used to instead of getting out of your comfort zone. No, you want to keep staying where you at and stay stuck and be stagnant in what you're comfortable in, but you rarely go outside your comfort zone. It's like a motherfucker who think like that. It's like a materialistic ass motherfucker and things of that nature, right? Even though, like I said earlier, you could die tomorrow and you can't take none of that shit with you. So it's not to say it don't matter because it shows the results physically for what you did, but you need to be rich in spirit first. So it's based upon that mentality that you in to have that motivation to want to do it in the first place. So a person who highly spirited, a person who's highly enthused, a person who has a lot of creativity behind them, a lot of substance behind them, a lot of imagination and stuff like that, a lot of goals, a lot of passions, a lot of things they want to accomplish in this lifetime and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So reincarnation. Nations is like a country. A country got states. States are like states of being and stuff like that. And then states got counties and all that type of shit. And cities and towns and all that type of shit. And it contains what? Men and women. So men and women make up the nation and all that type of shit, right? Men and women would be like masculine and feminine. That's like men being the thoughts and ideas, and then feminine being, feminine beings and females being the emotions and feelings. So it's like Adams and Eves, just in general. So the daytime, nighttime, masculine and feminine energies, giving and receiving, providing or taking, just in general, right? Externalizing, internalizing, all that type of shit. So just in general, right? Without trying to get too deep when it comes to that other shit, because that's really a whole different video. So being broad and then condensing into what you just broaden your horizons about and stuff like that. So coming, you know what I'm saying? Expanding out of a mind and then condensing into another one, just in general, right? So reincarnation. So from you reincarnating in general, right? You're just revitalizing what you put yourself in when it comes to your container of the passions and the motivations of the space and what you created and provided for yourself based upon the masculine and feminine energies that you summed up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a sum of a nation. It's a sum of the masculine and feminine energies, the men and women, the Adam and Eves and stuff like that, right? Of what you did in that lifetime, and then it got pressurized to where, oh, you came back in the flesh again. You know what I'm saying? You reincarnated. So it's like you literally like created the essence and substance of who you was, and then it got condensed into a mind, and then that mind, that those thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, right, became sentient, and then it got condensed into the body. It got condensed into the material world. It got condensed into the physical, the flesh, and then now you reincarnated, and now you can utilize the external tools and technology that get made from the flesh, from the physical and stuff like that. So the same way how I'm in the flesh and I'm in the physical, but we on earth right now, and then I'm on the phone right now using technology that, you know what I'm saying? I'm using the external things from this world based upon me being reincarnated from the flesh and the material world and stuff like that. And then it's going to go in that process to me being reborn or revitalized or renewal. So I got revived, just in general. So based upon what I did in a previous lifetime, based upon me being sentient and stuff like that, right? And the type of space that I was in, now I have the awareness of the being that I am in right now, and I don't remember who I was previously. And this is a process that everyone go through, because you're not going so the same way how you have your physical body and your light body and stuff like that, right? You ain't gonna have the memory of the mentality you used to have, but your spirit know, just in general, because your spirit know everything, just in general, based upon knowledge and wisdom and stuff like that. So it's not you gonna know the Pacific, but you're gonna know the essence or the substance of what you know what I'm saying, of like what resonate with you and stuff like that. So that's a natural or organic type of thing. So it's like a motherfucker who get born and they have like a natural talent when it comes to certain things, and they don't know why. Just based off the fact you have a natural gift or talent or ability when it comes to something, that lets you know based upon what you did in previous lifetimes, what you paid attention to a lot, what you had a lot of attention span a lot for, the things you was really attentive for. Oh, what was the thing that you was really passionate about? What was the thing that you gained a lot of awareness about, that for some reason you just have a strong know-how about? And then motherfuckers got to pay attention to that a lot of the time, because a lot of people get lost into the examples of lookership or what it means to be a part of society and stuff like that, and the government and all that type shit. So they don't think that deep about it. But we notice that when it comes to kids and stuff like that. That's why we have motherfuckers who like kid prodigies and stuff like that, because they book smart and all that type shit. That lets you know, based upon previous lifetimes and stuff like that, oh, they had a lot of intelligence about certain things which is why y'all look at them like, oh, because they was able to utilize certain analytics and a certain intelligence when it comes to the IQ and stuff like that. And y'all trying to have a testing ground when it comes to all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why y'all would call them the prodigy when it comes to that. And so it's really just them trying to put people into a column of like a specific thing they into. Like, oh, if you're a music prodigy, oh, okay, we're gonna make you do this music thing. Oh, this person's really book smart when it comes to psychology. Oh, he's a psychologist major prodigy and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they like people be trying to come up with different terminology and names and stuff like that for these different things, but just in general, right? You create these things, not you being the creations and stuff like that. So from you having that natural or organic ability when it comes to that talent or that gift or that ability, like you just naturally have a know-how for some reason. For some reason, you're really into that thing. For some reason, you really resonate with that thing just naturally. Like no one had to show you what that was, but for some reason you just have a affinity for it. Like for some reason, you keep having a passion or you keep having a pull or you keep having like some type of enthralled natural nature towards that thing just in general, right? That lets you know how much awareness you built on that energy in a previous lifetime, and then when you came back into this body and stuff like that, and based upon the examples we have out here, that's the closest you got to that energy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So in a nutshell, that's like a motherfucker who is like really into music, like naturally, just in general. And they probably don't even make music like that, right? But because they're so enthralled by music and stuff like that, okay, what does it take to actually make music and to be a musician and stuff like that, right? So when it comes to that, it's a person using their imagination to make different sounds and different songs and different versions and stuff like that, right? So naturally, because it has something to do with being creative and being imaginative and stuff like that, right? Based upon who you was in a previous lifetime, that means you use your imagination a lot. So based upon the specific shape and form of that art form, which is just music right now, that's just a medium of what that is. Oh, a motherfucker who using their imagination based upon their music tastes and what they like to create when it comes to what they like to hear. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? So based upon who you was in a previous lifetime, if you really enthralled with music, that means you was really into utilizing your imagination and you like watching people who like to utilize their imagination and be creative. And then that's it. You don't even gotta make music. I just made it like mad simple, just like that. So in a nutshell, reincarnation is the philosophical or religious belief that the soul, spirit, or consciousness survives physical death and is reborn into a new body, so human, animal, etc., and a cycle of rebirth influenced by karma continuing until spiritual liberation. And then spiritual liberation would be like freedom or free will. So just in general, right? I'm gonna go back. So from it being a philosophical or religious belief, it's not really a religious belief, right? It's just because religion, anything dealing with religion is them trying to call it that. Just in general, it's like someone who's paying attention to a legion of people and they're trying to revitalize how to look at their belief system and stuff like that, even if they don't understand it. So religion is just a real legion. So it's just a legion of people who paying attention to another legion of people of what their belief is, and they're trying to revitalize whatever that legion believed in, just in general. So it's not no thing where it's like it's just a religious belief because your ass got reincarnated and you got revitalized and you going through the same process and stuff like that. You just trying to understand why do these motherfuckers think that the soul and spirit and consciousness survives physical death and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, yeah, the soul, spirit, or consciousness survives physical death and stuff like that. So you have to look at it like the unconscious realm, then the subconscious realm, and then the conscious realm. The conscious realm would be like what you can see. The subconscious realm would be like the unseen or what you can't see. And then the unconscious realm is just all possibilities of what could be conscious but isn't alive. It ain't subconscious. It's not unseen. It's not in the conscious realm yet. It's not physically seen or anything like that. Look at the subconscious like look at the subconscious like your mentality behind something like a thought idea. It's like a psyche, like a thought idea, feeling or emotion and stuff like that. And then when you unconscious and stuff like that, right, you ain't thinking of shit. The minute you unconscious, you just, you know what I'm saying, everything is blacked out and you don't even remember anything. And then the minute you wake up out your coma and stuff like that, motherfuckers gotta tell you what the fuck happened because you don't remember shit and stuff like that, right? You unconscious, you ain't thinking of nothing. So that's what that means. So look at it as, okay, it's the consciousness survives the physical death and stuff like that, right? So the consciousness or the essence or the substance of who you was survived, and then it came back again into the conscious realm and stuff like that. So you became unconscious, and then you turned it into a mentality, the subconscious realm, and then you turned it into the conscious again, aka the flesh, and then it became something you can see because you went through that process again of fulfilling your spirit, fulfilling the space that you in and stuff like that, and then you went to experience the physical again, and then that's what happened. It's just you ain't gonna remember what happened in your previous bodies, in your previous lifetimes and stuff like that, aka your light body and your physical body and stuff like that, because you ain't gonna have the same mentality no more, and you ain't gonna have the same physical body no more, but you gonna have the essence of who you was, the substance of who you was, the creation or the creator ability, the observer ability of you being able to experience something again. You know what I'm saying? So, right, it's a cycle of rebirth influenced by karma. Just look at karma as you reaping what you sow, because karma is just the sum of one's life, just in general, right? So just look at that as like lifespan and stuff like that. Oh, the longevity of something. Oh, it it kept going on and on through generations in generation and stuff like that. So the minute you start hearing afterlife and all that type shit, afterlife just means the life after the one you living right now, and then that's it. To make it like super simple and non-spooky and stuff like that, so niggas don't be trying to turn it into a thing to where like, oh yeah, you're gonna go into the sky, into the heavens because of this, that, and the third. That's really a different video in itself, because we are trying to ascend. We are trying to have more conscious awareness and stuff like that. We all trying to get beyond the humanity, human vessels and stuff like that, so we can become higher beings, or you know what I'm saying, higher shapes and forms beyond just humans and stuff like that. Based upon us going through these experiences and things like that, it's just the highest conscious awareness when it comes to intelligence and all that type shit. Is just humans at the moment, and then we trying to expand out of that. The same way how animals can become our pets, and they look at us as a way to try to operate in life better and stuff like that, so they can not be as wild and barbaric, and they learn how to be domesticated. Okay, we do that when it comes to this atmosphere and stuff like that, because we need, you know what I'm saying, we need water to stay alive, and then we need to breathe the oxygen, the air, and the atmosphere to breathe and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then the air and the atmosphere that we in have seasonal transitions and stuff like that. So the more you know how to get more in sync, the more you know how to do things in certain pockets and stuff like that, and then the more you able to expand your awareness and expand your mind and expand the space that you in, and create other cultures and different things that you was able to utilize for yourself, so you can have a better know-how, so you can gain more knowledge and wisdom. And what did you learn while you was experiencing what you was experiencing, and was it based upon what you allowed to happen to you, aka you got lost into other people's creations, or did you try to create a circumstance for yourself based upon your natural and organic talents, gifts, and abilities and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Instead of it turn into a thing to where you're letting, oh, the government run the way you want to look at the world. Oh, you try to utilize, you trying to get lost into the way society wants you to look at the world and stuff like that. Oh, the way how your neighborhood wants you to look at the world and all that type shit. Oh, did you try to create an atmosphere? Oh, did you try to create a world? Or did you get lost in the world that you got rebirthed into and stuff like that, and you lack the lively sentience and ability to shine your light and stuff like that, to be yourself, to be an individual, to have your authenticity, and you ain't even give a fuck. You was gonna create your own way of how you go about shit in general and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say earlier, it's all about the temperament, it's all about the character, it's all about the essence, it's all about the authenticity, it's all about who you are as a person, and you always have to show up as yourself, just in general. So when you get lost of who you are from yourself, that means you got lost into someone else who know themselves better than you, and they just manipulated your ass, and you just fall for the okie doke and the validation of what others want you to do, instead of you adding more validation to what you want to do. So reincarnation, just in general, is just a repeated birth into a temporal existence. So being in the flesh is temporary, but what did you learn while you was temporarily here, and how much did you accomplish while you was physically in the flesh? Because all it is in general, right, when it comes to people keep on coming back on Earth, and us being in the physical realm and the material realm and stuff like that, right, based upon the different elements, Earth is just the most condensed and physical and grounded version, aka down to earth, being grounded when it comes to the different elements, like Avatar or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Fire, water, air, earth. So Earth is just the most condensed. So that's why you're gonna see fire. You're gonna see fiery individuals. You're gonna see watery individuals and stuff like that, aka emotional individuals. And then you're gonna see airy individuals, aka airheads, or people who have a lot of logical and rational thinking and communication, articulation, and analyzing skills and stuff like that, before it becomes the flesh or the material or us being on earth and stuff like that. So it's either you can get lost and create hell on earth and stuff like that, aka you getting lost into the flesh, or you can create heaven on earth and you know how to be into your lighter natures and you want to be a walking celestial body, because heaven or the sky is just you know what I'm saying? It's just a heavenly body. So the more you know how to bring heaven on earth, aka look at that as you can turn anything based upon your imagination and your internal heaven, and then you able to utilize that and create something you can externally externalize from the flesh based upon what you do in the internal, and basically making that a reality, right? So your spirit already doing that first. Your soul is already doing that first, because I know when motherfuckers be looking at heaven and stuff like that. Oh, I want my soul to go to heaven. Oh, okay, you want your spirit to go to heaven. So your spirit is just the space that you in, what you created for yourself, what you observe, what you experience. You know what I'm saying? What did you produce? Where's your natural and organic talent, gifts, and abilities and stuff like that, right? And was you expanding it and keep on going through those experiences of expanding, contraction, expansion, contraction, you know what I'm saying? Being out of something and then being in a container, or did you just stay stuck in a container too long? Did you stay stuck in a vision? Did you stay stuck in a dream? Did you stay stuck in an illusion, a deception, a thought, a feeling, an emotion? Or did you keep on trying to go through certain processes of having a certain thought, idea, feeling, an emotion, and then you finish that process and then you expanded your mind? You know what I'm saying? You expanded out of that thought and you created a new thought. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you burnt out that thought or idea or that feeling or emotion, and then you created a new one and stuff like that. So it's the same way how you ain't gonna think the same way you thought 5 years ago, and then 5 years later you're gonna have a whole new different mindset based upon experiences, based upon knowledge, based upon wisdom of how to go about something compared to what you did 5 years later and stuff like that. And that's the natural process. And then the more you actually put a lot of attention, a lot of passion behind always trying to evolve, always trying to go through that process, always trying to expand, always trying to condense into a mind based upon what you just expanded out of and stuff like that, right? You're just trying to expand your ability of what you can do and what you're trying to create for yourself and stuff like that, right? So it's gonna add more lifespan and stuff like that. It's gonna add more attention span and stuff like that. It's gonna add more essence to you. It's gonna add more substance. It's gonna add more authenticity. It's gonna add more substance to anything you want to do. So you're gonna come off high temperament. You're gonna have a lot of character. You're gonna have a lot of characteristics. You're gonna be able to understand different sides of yourself, different spectrums. So any shadow work that you're not working on, just look at shadow work as, oh, the dark side of yourself and stuff like that. You're able to brighten that up. So you're able to understand different sides of yourself that you probably never even expected and stuff like that. Like you, man, like, no, bro, it end up getting like mad deep because you end up realizing certain aspects about yourself, about certain things that you into or certain things that you capable of, and you didn't even know you was even fucking capable of doing that shit. And then now you know, oh, I'm actually capable of doing that shit. You just have to get out of that hellistic state of being doubt, of going through a depression and like doubt and stuff like that. Not to say based upon life, you're gonna go through the highs and lows and stuff like that. But if you're able to go through the process of that high and low, and you understand it's just a process. Oh, sometimes you're gonna be and then sometimes you're gonna be you know what I'm saying? Like the more you're able to ride the wave of all that, and you still able to retain the essence of what you was and stuff like that. Oh, okay, it's gonna keep expanding and stuff like that. You ain't gonna stay rooted into that one thing. It's gonna come and go. Like, oh, I went through this and stuff like that. But it's just gonna add more endurance. It's gonna add more mental resilience and stuff like that. It's gonna add more to my lore. It's gonna add more to my character and stuff like that, of my purpose and my path and who I want to be and all that type shit. So just in general, it is gonna turn into spiritual evolution and then karmic resolution and all that type shit. Now, when so based upon that spiritual evolution, right? You're gonna go through that evolution when it comes to your spirit and your soul first, and then look at that as, oh, you're gonna have a broader way when it comes to your mentality and stuff like that. You're gonna have a better mentality and a better way of having better outcomes, better solutions to your problems and stuff like that, right? Instead of having mental crutches that you're trying to depend on until it end up until it starts to turn to a thing where you end up beating a dead horse and stuff like that. You keep on trying to do the same thing just in different ways, but you still doing the same thing and stuff like that. You ain't letting go of certain baggage. You ain't letting go of certain things so you can move on to the next goal, the next passion, the next success, the next goal, the next thing you trying to do in your life and stuff like that. And you ain't ever gonna get to that point of doing something new or doing something fresh, or you know what I'm saying, like being a breath of fresh air or nothing like that, if you keep suffocating yourself in the same circumstances and stuff like that. You have to get outside your comfort zone, like I was saying before, and stuff like that, right? So that's how you end up being more rich in spirit, aka you're gonna have more value or abundance, or planting more seeds that can go more in your favor, so you can have an esoteric garden and stuff like that, to where, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have a lot of melanated fruit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna be low hanging fruit where your shit always gonna be dying, or you have to go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you have to literally hang on to like low hanging fruit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to depend on motherfuckers who basically like motherfuckers who don't add anything to your life, and it just adding to them kind of holding you back type shit, or like emotional baggage, or like you have to hang on to like a mental crutch. Like, look at low hanging fruit. Like, oh, you're hanging on to like a mental crutch. Like, without that mental crutch, you couldn't even function and stuff like that. It's the same way how when it comes to like a crackhead or like an addict and stuff like that. Okay, they can't even function or live their life without that drug and stuff like that. And then if they don't got that drug and stuff like that, they start tweaking the fuck out. So they ain't living in moderation or something like that. That's why they ask a crackhead. That's why they ask a junkie and stuff like that, because they can't even live life without this mental crutch, just in general. And then the mental crush is just through the drug or through the crack and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? So just in general, reincarnation, it just acts as a mechanism for souls to achieve enlightenment and rectify past actions, fulfill neglected duties, or experience the full spectrum of the human existence and stuff like that. And then from us being humans and us being part of humanity and mankind and stuff like that, we're just here to be one of a kind, a one of a kind type of man, a one of a kind type of way of how to go about something. That's why each person, when it comes to their life, it's like a sum of what they did in their previous life until now. It is always going to be direct. It's always going to be unique. It's always going to be specific. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be for that individual and stuff like that. So don't turn it into a thing to where you're trying to take on the baggage of someone else. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, y'all gonna go quicker to hell the more y'all do that. The more y'all be trying to take the responsibility of someone else's hell. The more y'all trying to take the responsibility of someone else's problems. The more you try to take the responsibility of someone else's circumstances and stuff like that too much, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you always gonna have a spiritual family, and your spiritual family is beyond your physical family. On God, it's beyond blood and stuff like that. It's people who resonate with you on a soul level and stuff like that. Oh, y'all all in the same culture. Y'all all in the same creative space. Y'all all in the same productivity and stuff like that. Y'all all have the same type of character. Y'all all into the same passions and motivations. Y'all all into the same things for the most part, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all all in the same space, just in general. Y'all are trying to experience and create the same type of things, but it's still gonna come off in a way. So the same way how I'm an individual, right? If I'm an individual with my own mind and you can't read my fucking mind, that means I was able to do that with myself. And that's what everyone is doing as humans, or, you know what I'm saying, animals and stuff like that. It's just they ain't as high on the intelligence and comprehension scale, but they still doing the same thing, right? It's always gonna be unique to your circumstance of what you are doing to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you have to deeply understand that shit on a spiritual level, on a mental level, on a you know what I'm saying, on a mental level, all the way down to physically and stuff like that. So that's why your bitch ass keep coming back as a human and stuff like that in the same frustrated circumstances and stuff like that. I'm not even trying to say that's bad. Like, oh yeah, our ass keep on coming back as humans because of this, that, and the third. But this is why you can come back as a human and you be even more frustrated than what you was in the previous circumstance because of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to learn the art of deduction and learn how to let go of certain shit and certain baggage every time you start to reincarnate, because that's all you're doing in general, right? You're reincarnating based upon the soul's experiences and stuff like that. And what did you learn last time, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, what did you do last time, or are you going to keep on doing the same shit type shit? So the whole thing in general is just a process of trying to have better outcomes and better results for what resonate with your spirit first. Your spirit first, bro. Like, the space that you in first, what you trying to create for yourself first. Then it's going to turn into ideologies and different ideas, thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, aka what adds on to your psyche. And then it's going to add on to what's going on physically and stuff like that. So a lot of these different things is just going to add on to the esoteric currency of the current or what's currently going on, of you being in the present and the foresight of what you're trying to do for your future and stuff like that. But you can't do that without understanding your goddamn past and what you did in the previous lifetime. So it's going to go into what I'm saying right now. So based upon what you did in the previous lifetime, and you going through that carnation, incarnation, and reincarnation again and stuff like that, it is adds up to that karmic resolution over or you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to call it that, like that karmic resolution and stuff like that, and it's just gonna be a sum of everything that you done did, and based upon everything you done did, what you about to do now, motherfucker? What you about to do now? Like, yeah. So yeah, just in general, reincarnation is just you. It's literally the epitome of you repurposing of what you did last time. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna repurpose your whole purpose. You know what I'm saying? Your soul's purpose. Oh, and then based upon our soul's purpose, if I want to make that super generalized, it's just us to experience, it's us to produce, it's us to create more things and have a broader awareness and have a higher angle of how to go about something. But we can't go through that process without going through the birth, life, death concept and stuff like that. You have to birth something, and then you have to give it life, give it sentience, and then the shit has to die out. And then when it dies out and it got experienced for that certain point in time, you're going to find a way to revitalize it so it can get birthed anew again. And then, yeah, it's the opinion of what I said earlier, expansion, contraction. You know what I'm saying? You expand it out of a mind and then it condenses into a new one. If I want to make that mad simple and stuff like that. And that's the thing your soul doing. That's the thing your spirit doing just in general. So if your spirit big as fuck, that means you have a strong spirit. So if you have a strong spirit, it don't matter what mentality, what thought, what feeling, what emotion that someone throw at you, or you even throw at yourself when it comes to self-doubt and all that type of shit, you always going to be able to be broad as a spirit, aka the space that you in, aka your capabilities and stuff like that. So man, it's going to be hard for a motherfucker to deter you based upon your conviction of what the fuck you trying to do, because you live in your purpose. You know what I'm saying? You live in your goddamn life. You trying to create different things. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to create different thoughts, ideologies, different feelings and emotions to make things, you know what I'm saying? To basically understand yourself and stuff like that. And then the more you understand yourself and you have that better relationship when it comes to yourself, you're able to relay that to others, and then everyone is going to learn how to be themselves better and stuff like that. So you have to come as a representation of you being an individual, and it's going to help other motherfuckers be better individuals. It's going to make other motherfuckers have that natural instinct or that natural passion and motivation to want to be themselves, because everyone actually being themselves. They ain't being a fucking follower all the time and shit like that. Not to say they ain't no, because there is a process of like, there is a thing where it's like, oh yeah, sometimes you have to be the leader, and then sometimes you got to be the spectator and stuff like that. Sometimes you can be the initiator and you can be the talker and stuff like that, but then sometimes you got to sit back and listen and all that type of shit. So everything is just a moderation type thing, just in general. So the more you start to understand the spectrum of yourself in the space that you in, or what you want to create for yourself, in the essence, in the substance of who you are, is going to add on to the mentality of how you think and look at shit when it comes to your perception and how you receive things. And it's going to add it to, you know what I'm saying, how you live your physical circumstance in your life and stuff like that. And then motherfuckers gonna be looking at you like, man, this motherfucker could just, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker just got some personality. This motherfucker got the character. This motherfucker just got the it. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker just got the it factor and shit like that. Oh, this motherfucker just cool as hell. Or like this motherfucker come off like real short, real assured, like real sure of themselves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, like people gonna feel that vibe. Like, oh, this person is like on a high ass vibration, a high ass frequency, a high ass idea. I mean, a high ass emotion and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He always try to rise above the situation. He ain't goddamn just taking some shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just taking some shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't just taking everything. Like, I mean, like taking some shit lying down. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bro, like you can throw anything this motherfucker away. He gonna find a way to maneuver. He gonna find a way to be flexible. He gonna find a way to gain some mental resilience and mental strength and shit like that to stay in that position and stuff like that. Spiritually though, spiritually stay in that position. Stay in that space. Stay in that mentality. Stay in that idea. Stay in that passion. Stay in that dream. Stay in that conviction of who they was and stuff like that. Stay in that pocket. You know what I'm saying? They're able to stay in that pocket because they understand themselves and they always trying to expand that. And then a motherfucker trying to block them is going to show how much endurance and how much ability they actually have in general, right? So like you, man, it's gonna turn into after a while it's gonna turn into a thing. You try to crash them out, nah, they gonna crash your ass out. They gonna crash your ass out trying to think you gonna crash them out. They can crash harder than you, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. Like any tactic you try, it's just not gonna work because they always gonna move real free spiritedly and stuff like that. And then from them being free as a spirit, they always gonna make a new pocket. They always gonna make a new space outside the space that you think they care about. You think you're gonna cripple them, and you really not. They really probably don't even give a fuck about that. That's probably like a denomination or a division of the whole spectrum of who they was, or what the fuck you think you manipulated, or what they give a fuck about. And they was able to just, you know what I'm saying? They was able to maneuver that motherfucker and stuff like that, and still maintain that essence and substance of who they was. And then that's us doing that when it comes to different lifetimes, just in general, right? Of us reincarnating into a different body. So you really have to gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom and learn the spectrum of who you are, the light side and the dark side. And based upon that, it's gonna expand the capability and abilities naturally organically of your comprehension, your awareness and stuff like that, and what you done made for yourself. And people gonna remember the essence of what that was, of you being great, you being godly and stuff like that, you being divine, you being heavenly and stuff like that. So just making that shit mad simple. You know what I'm saying? Like you being walking potential. All possibilities, and God is just all possibilities. So you being the potentiality of that potential, of you being the star, of you being the walking example of what it looked like to move divinely, what it means to move godly and stuff like that, what it means to move as a strong spirit, to move as a unit and stuff like that. And that's all this is shit, the shit they talk about in the Bible for real when it comes to Jesus and stuff like that. It's just utilizing that energy for yourself instead of trying to give that to some deity figure or some shit like that. But like, yeah,